let's change our approach. We'll go for you. And we are going to massively mine you. Because what we're going to do, we're going to drop you down. We're going to rotate and then cut this piece. And we're going to bin that, and we're going to bin that, so that we only have this. Today, we are playing Shapez, spelled with a Z. See? Z. Because we're apparently 90s edgy. But for those who are not aware, this is a quite nice and casual process creation and optimization game. It's very simple. You have a target to deliver things, and you need to create and deliver the things through various means. So, at the very base level, create some things, and you will see that it will slowly get picked up, get moved through, and pink, we now get to 1 out of 30. The interesting part about this is, for those who aren't aware, I am an engineer. In particular, I specialize on process management engineering. I am a systems engineer. So a big part of what I do is design processes and get them to work, which is why I've had the kind of comment before when I've had people suggest I should play this type of game that I'd probably love it. My go-to reaction is a very strong, unfortunate, but it's my job. But I am here because I wanted to play it and I wanted to talk a little bit about it and some of the interesting things that you can do on the side. Yes. Give me a moment. Just bring that in a little bit. We are here and together and in place. Right. There we go. Allow me to start over. We are playing Shapez. It's a process management game. I do process management, and as you can see, it is all about building things up. Now, as you go through the levels, you will have different things you need to do. So instead of delivering full circles, I now need to deliver half circles. So I need to cut this back, and I need to go and cut it like that. And you can see we have each of the two halves. So if I just do that for the others, dink dink. And we now have the dust bin, which is very nice because it means that we can just deal with things like that. We don't have to so much deal with things. So as you go through the game, you will need to produce more, it will get quicker, and things will get more complicated. We'll get colours at a certain point, for example, at which point things get a bit tricky. But for now, it's all very nice, very simple. There we go, that should be a good start point. On level 2 complete. Right, and then we get the upgrades. So, if we continue delivering half circles, we get better belts and distributors. If we start delivering squares, we get better extraction, so on and so forth. So, while things are going up, we need to now find some squares. There are some. Let's get some squares being delivered. You can see now we're having to keep track of two things. One of which is the squares, and then they will need half circles, so we need to wait until we can rotate them first. Right, let's us continue building in and get through things quicker. Bring those in. There we go. And we're starting to produce and run more in. So at the moment, what we're doing is what's known as pull delivery. So pull delivery is, very simply, We wait until the thing is requested and then we provide it. It is what's done for, say, food production. You wait for an order to go through and then you produce the item you're cooking. We're waiting for the order to pull our production. Pull delivery is what most companies want to strive for, because you know you're going to sell whatever you make. However, anything that's complicated, see cars for example, you don't necessarily know that things are going to go in the way you know. Things aren't necessarily as simple as you would like. It's not always easy to arrange pull delivery circuits onto it because the lead time's too great. I'm just running a few different circuits together here. So by doing this, I have all of these producing into one, and you can see that I am nearly up to the full capacity of this belt. Nearly. But it's all saving room. I'll come back and redesign this later. But for now, that one should about do it, and we should be running pretty much just in time. So just in time, you have a space, and you have a block delivered just in time to fill the space. Nothing sits and waits up. Everything goes and has a spot directly to fill it. It would be slightly more optimal to do it that way round. Yeah, that looks nice. Right. Of course, now it wants it snipped. So we will snip it down. There we go. So the big issue you can see here is we're now being bottlenecked by this process. It's not quick enough. You can see that all of these are being backed up because it can't handle being clicked through here. So let's go for a bit of a redesign. So the snipping process is the slowest one. So we want to snip things early and then recombine them for delivery. There we go. We got everything snipped. We can now recombine them into single paths. Dunk, dunk, dunk. And we'll get that one on there because I like things to be neat. Come on, there we go. And we can bring this one all around like that, and you can see we have a nice perfect stream. Optimize the flow a little bit, and now you can see 3 squares are being snipped down. I know that at some point we get the rotator, and then this will be a lot easier. But for now, let's just generate a second wave of snipping. Much neater. That's how that one should look. There we go, there's the rotator. Fantastic. So that's where things start to get a little bit more useful. So, what do we need? We need, that's the wrong one, that's the one. We want upside down circles, full squares, triangles, and stars, and the other one. Right, let's us essentially start over and redesign our factory. So what we're doing is recalibrating the shop floor. Hi Sly, I am fake Athel, you are correct, I am red. Athel is feeling a little bit under the weather at the moment, so I have pushed them out the way and filled in. We are playing Shapez. No, I need to cut these down. I want that. Might as well just do every other one. There we go. Right. if we do that, that is perfect. So you need to be rotated 3 times. Yes, because we don't have an alternate rotate yet. 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1. And that will now, as a result, rotate everything the way we want it to. Perfect. So we can just merge this all together using a pyramid belt stacker, which is this lovely thing. And pipe that round, and now we're delivering half moon circles at full speed in and on. Can actually probably get away with adding a second feed line in. You go that way, you go that way. There we go. And now isn't that satisfying? Right, so that is that one being produced. We want complete squares, so I can just, as simply as doing that, change that process, so we're on to complete squares there. So now we have complete squares going in, we have half squares, and we have upside down circles, all feeding through nice and quickly. Awesome. We want to zoom out, so this is a large map. We'll get there, don't worry. And let's do our first long range bout. So, merge them together. Gonna do the same old stacking system that we've seen before because it's useful. Perfect. And now, let's get this bout plugged on in. Somewhere over here. Actually, that wasn't far off. I'm impressed by that. That was a pretty good shot. Oof. And now, here come the shurikens. So you can see that the initial build-up has gone, and now we're running down to the active process. And you can see these gaps here are being caused because we're not filling things full quickly enough, which we will get to. But for now, I'm happy to let them be a little bit off. We now need to do quite a lot of circles. So we've got the half circles going through, which is fine. We need the top half of circles, and then we'll need to do this, which is just 1/2 of the pie. So let's start by doing the other half circle. So we can do very much what we did before. Snap, snap, snap. Right, if we need to rotate things the other way, we want 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, and that should have everything rotated the right direction. I like to drag things out just so you can see what's coming through. You can think of this as doing the prototyping run, and everything is the right way up. So we just gotta combine it all together. Another lovely pyramid stacker there, and pipe it on in. There we go. We're delivering the thing. Upgrade that, and last one is a quarter pie. So I'm going to do take one track, get it right. We want to snip it down, then we want to snip it again, which separates everything into ooh. No, we need. Do we need to rotate it then? And then snip it. Oh, level 5 complete. We get tunnels. There we go. So yeah, we need to rotate things once. And then snip. And then we need to make sure all of this is going the way we need it to go. Ooh, tunnels. Yes, things are going to get complicated real fast now that I have access to tunnels. But first, that one's correct. So we want to rotate this one. This one needs rotating twice. So this one needs rotating 3 times. And that should all now be top corners. Perfect. Put in one of our favourite little pyramid stackers. And bring the belt round. Right, tunnel. One goes in, one comes out. But they have range. There we go. In and out. Belt, belt, plug. And that is now our top side of circles coming in. And you can see that our production has already spammed up pretty quickly. We went from doing just full circles to now having a fairly big wave of things being produced. And I can disconnect one of these pipes because we're not quite producing enough. Awesome. Going good. Next thing will be when we unlock painting. Awesome. Yes, it's a red takeover. Athel is unfortunately not feeling fully perfect, so I've taken over. I'm playing Shapez, which is a process management game, as a process engineer. So feel free to hear loads of little things about how you organize and create processes and terms around what's known as lean manufacturing, which is what this game is all about, not producing more than you need. So we are doing fairly well at the moment. This is what we got to produce. You can see our little impasse comes through here from here. This production is actually a little bit slow, but it'll do. We don't need to produce that many more. The big thing we need to do is we need to rotate some of our square blocks. However, we need to optimize this section. So I'm going to take this production facility offline so that I can make a change to it. Oh, we got painting. Now things get a bit crazy because suddenly we got a whole new thing to deal with. And I will probably need to do my second large-scale rebuild of the entire factory base. There we go. I'm going to take you straight across there. Optimizing the belting so that's not so in the way. There we go. That'll do. That's fine. Dink, dink. That's kind of more useful because tunnels. It's not actually rotating quite enough. Of course, it'll need to be triple rotating, which is a bit more effort than I'm willing to do. Right, now we need to do colour. So we need to get circles. Like so. There we go. We need a colour icon, and we need the combiner, which takes colour in at the top and shape in at the bottom. Like so. And as you can see, once the process is complete, it spits you out a coloured wheel. Make myself some room. There we go. By doing that, I can now move this belt up a bit. Bink. Means I can slowly get rid of this one. Trying not to lose too much as I do it. There we go. And then I can bring in the red colours. But you can see this process quite slow. So what we're going to do is we're going to produce a production cell. A production cell is multiple copies of the same thing running at the same time in organization. And I will build one and work it out from there. So we want something like that, where the circles come in at the bottom. Paint comes in at the top, like that, and then you get red circles out. The important part here, because I've taken a bit of extra time to sort things out, is by getting the layout correct. We can start to put in multiple. There we go. And now you see we've got two working in parallel as a production cell. And then we've just got to bring them together and merge them up. And what I will do is I will put onto a master conveyor. There we go. So you can see we now have two working in a production cell which are sharing supply inputs for the same output. Right, let's make this crazy. We know what the basic shape is like now. So let's do a whole bunch of them. So that is the paint conveyor. Allow that to prime. We then have our painting stations. Might as well make it so I can do more in future if I want to. And you can see them all priming up. If I get rid of this momentarily, then we know that for each one we want a splitter like that. And bink, bink, bink. And then on each output we need a splitter. Well, it's more a merger here, but you know, naming. And suddenly you can see the red is all filtering down. And now to put in the circles. Pipe that in. Exactly. You double up the outputs. Now we're going to go even more. So if we put that belt in there, hi, tempting. We're good, thank you. But thanks for stopping by and asking. But yes, you can see we've got all kinds of delivery cell in now. And if we unblock the output, there we go. We now have a large production chain. And you can see that it's getting a bit clogged up here, but we don't actually mind that. And it's being clogged up because we haven't got the red paint production to match. But that's easily fixed. We are being bottlenecked by a necessary part. There we go. And now we have a load more paint coming through to match with our circles, and we suddenly have a larger conveyor belt producing. And as that extra red paint feeds in, the process gets quicker and quicker and quicker as we fill up our inventory of required parts. And we have one output, and we have a bunch of machines that are working on inputs. And this is largely how factories work. Is you have a bunch of production cells that might be single machines, they might be a group of machines together, and they'll all operate to fill one production line. As you can see, I could continue creating this down if we needed to increase our capacity more and more. I can also now use this pattern and design in future for doing any colouring. Which, as you can see, we're starting to now be asked for more and more. So one that they want now is the teal stars. Well, we have stars. We have the blue over here. They're just blue. No, they are actually teal. Ignore me. We need the paint mix for that. We haven't got paint mixing yet. We'll get there. We'll get there. Right. In which case, we have the vertical blocks in dark blue needed. Well, we've got our vertical block output. So let's look at another concept. So we've got our blocks, and yes, that's right. This is a bit shaped off. So let's actually fix this. So at the moment it's a bit all over the place. So we'll take that offline. We will build in more blocks. There we go. Ah, I got the rotator the other direction. Apparently Ford was an inventor. Yes, so what Ford produced was the concept of the moving assembly line. He's often credited with the first assembly line, but that's not quite true. What he did was apply it on scale to automotive manufacture and realized that, you know, if you're building something with wheels, you don't necessarily need to have it stop. There's our output. We need it facing on the right side. So we need to go... Actually, and I just remembered, we got... There we go. That does it. So that's all the right side now. We can take this, we can merge it together because our paint cell, as you saw down here, only needs a single input. And then we need to find some blue paints from somewhere. Over here, on the other side. So we'll build it like that, and then we're going to do a output there. Because now what we have is we have it split down into two lines. We're going to bring one down here and plug it into there. We'll have the other one come across. And now what we're doing is splitting half and half. So half our load is going to come down here and it's just going to feed onto the truck when it can. So we're still delivering it colorlessly. And then the other lot is going to come on a bit of a merry journey and come over here. And we're going to build this again at a bit of a different angle. So. Your dad was really interested in Ford Model Ts. The Model Ts are really interesting, and like from a also hi Maxwell. From a production point of view, like the principles behind the assembly line and what Ford was doing is really impressive and interesting. He was a bit of a terrible person, and you will quickly encounter that if you dig too much into it. Just as a kind of pre-warning. Yes, it's very similar to Factorio. I find it's just a bit more visually clean, a bit visually cleaner is all. That's the only difference from my point of view. And then because we're not hitting movement here, we'll connect on there. We need to do our die output. There we go. So as you can see, it's literally the same design as here, rotated around a little bit. Though the rotation actually does cause us a bit of an issue, which I will show in a second in a bit more highlighting. Click, click, click. There we go. So you can see that as I scale this, at some point I'm either going to have to keep working my way around it or I'm going to have to skip. Yes, indeed. I have heard about his faults. Good. Yeah. Yeah. He had faults. Those were a thing. But yes. And now you can see I am doing the blue squares. And we're now increasing what exactly we're producing quite nicely. Right. Let's scale up our paint cell a little bit. There we go. So this is now the largest I can do before I encounter my layout problem. That one, there we go. And then we just want bunk, bunk. Run this through here. And lastly, combine them into the main path. 1, 2. There we are. And now that's the blues being added in as well. Yes, has nice block shapings to make things easier to see. Yes, and bright colours, and I really appreciate bright colours. There's just something so satisfying when you look at your central hub as you go through. Right, how are we doing? We are doing good. We need... So, one of the interesting things is I've accidentally made it so we're not producing any just plain normal circles at the moment. So, let's divert you around here. And then on the same one that's producing these cut down circles, let's just add in an extra feed, which is your plain normal circles. They've highlighted their work. Yes, yes they have. Which is very important to do to keep everything neat. Oh. Satisfying. Right, optional objectives. Can't do color mixing quite yet. Shortly. So it is just building up these, so we should increase our production even more on this section. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that there, put this here, and I'm going to tunnel this underneath, like so, because I'm now going to do a bunch of these productions the other way round. So actually, yeah, it doesn't overly matter. If I continue pointing them down, yes, I can get this to work. I've just got to think about my routing momentarily. That goes there. That goes there. That loops round like that. Perfect, no issue. And then that connects in there, and then you've got another one. Cool, so I just got to do some loopy loops. Blink. Another painter there. Another splitter there. Let's pipe all of these up. And we need these splitters up here. There we go. And that connects in there. And then as you can see, everything is going quite well. Yes, that's... the collision I was thinking about, guys. Perfect, there we go. That increases the production number there a little bit. And we can still go higher, because you can see these chains are still... So this is the one you need to look. So each one of these will move at half the pace of the one before it. But you can see that this is still clocking up and like working back. So if I put here, which is current back of the line, then you can see that when it stops, it does slowly like move to the left a bit more each time. So we can probably get away with one more before we have a significant issue. So we'll do this one as the end capper of the production run like that. Ah, paint mixing. Fantastic. There we go, an end cap. Perfect. Right, so they want purple circles as the next thing. Purple is obviously red mixed with blue. But I am going to move away and I'm going to find this spot here where we've got a nice lot of each of the colour things. And we're going to do something really, really crazy, which will take a little bit of time to set up. What we're going to do is produce a... There's only 3 colours. Yeah, there's only 3 colours, yeah. We're going to produce a production hub. So obviously... Start with the easy bit. You have 3 colours. I'll take this one a bit of a roundabout route. So you'll have green, blue, and red. And we'll get red up here. There we go. We have 3 colours. Right. Next, we can work on the combinations. So, combination 1. Blue plus green. And I'm going to save myself a bunch of time later, and I'm going to put a splitter there. Turn that under. That's fine. I'm just going to go crashing through that field. It's fine. We're going to remove that field's existence. So that gives us teal. We then need our second combination. Again, save myself a bunch of time later. Which is going to be your good old-fashioned green plus red. Which produces us our yellow. So we now have teal and yellow. And then finally, obviously, is the purple, the one that we kind of came down here to use. Jump under those rails. Save us our time. Cool, and that's our purple. And then obviously we have one more colour to do. So, on each of these, and I will do each, because otherwise the production of it's very slow. If we take a little bit of the output and we mix it with the one colour that's missing, so if we put blue in here, then we will get the final colour, which we will need probably much later, but I want to set up the infrastructure for now. Put blue in there. Yellow and blue mixed together, we get white. Same with this one needs green. So let's put in a green pipe. Right, and we've got one left to go, which is this one, which needs a red. And you gotta love how messy this is already. And if I skip you there, and I skip you there, and I save myself time later and skip you there. I hate that tunnel, pains me. Dunk dunk. Perfect. Then we can pipe ourselves up like this. You go around there. You go in there, and that's the red. You come out here. Put a merger on there. Put a funny little break in this conveyor belt, just give myself some effort. And oh my god, am I glad I did just then. Woof! And you've got this lovely, ugly string. Yeah. But now, what we have is we have one production cell whose output is all of the paint colors. So whatever we need, we can get it from our one production pipe. And whenever we need to increase production of a paint color, we just come and improve it in cell over here. We have one stop shop for everything. Right, so the big things we need is we need purple circles. So we need to find ourselves some circles. And we need our purple. Perfect. Right, and I'm going to do this properly this time, because last time I kind of mashed it to save myself time later. So this is our bypass, which does it in no colour. So this will connect onto the output and fill basically anything that's left over on the output chain with no colour circles. I'll fix it better later. And then we do another one of our paint cells. So remind ourselves of what it looks like. Cool. Standardized patterns are very, very useful. And I do know that later on you get copy paste. Which I then make extensive use for because I have a load of pre-designed packages. And that's where you want to get to. That's essentially, at that point, you have a template and you're just reusing the templates. Perfect. And then we need click, click, click. Belt across there. In belts here. Doesn't really matter. We need our pyramid merger here. Click that in. Connect our purple in. And boom. We've got purple circles. Just as we did before, collect those together onto a master output rail. And then the only difference is kind of want the output rail going the other way. Directionality being oddly important because it means that I can put in right, bridge it over here. So this is a production order filler. Purple is what we want, so purple goes on the belt first, and then any room that remains gets filled in with uncolored circles. And then we just got to plug this up to our central hub. Like so. And you can see that as the purple comes in, at the moment it's being done 1 for 1. But now that there's a gap, the circles just run until there's purple, and then the purple gets priority. And we do that essentially to make sure orders are filled. So, for example, with a lorry going to a store, say a phone store, you would have your phone boxes as well as essentially the purple circle here, and then to fill each truck up you might put spare parts on it as the process filler. And you can see that the thing that's slowing us down here is lack of purple paint. So we can come back over. We know that the purple comes from this stream over here, so we can then do same as what we did elsewhere. We can work. If we flare this out a little bit, like so. And then what we can do is that there. Flare you out into it. Actually flared you too far. And put in a couple of different color mixes. So this is where spacing becomes very important. And actually laying things out properly, which I didn't do first time round. But there we go. Punished for the sins of my past. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Click, click, click. Through rail. Red. Dink, dink, dink. Create the jumpers. So. There we go. And now we're generating more purple. Just doing a bit of upkeep to allow quite a bit more colour to be produced. There we go. And now that the purple chain is running a bit more smoothly, that means we will, when it gets over there, we will now produce more over here more smoothly. Ah, we have mixing and painting speed up. Nice. Right. So we also need to do teal stars. Bit much again. Take our teal path. This one's actually going to split off earlier. Because we need to take it over here. We are then going to take a separation from this main route to get our stars, and then we continue on. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3. Let's do this one fairly big. And we have very quickly done a lovely extra economy of scale. Primary route goes across the top. Individual routes come in there. Our teal has just started showing up. Put in the bridges. And connect in the teal. There we go. And we've just got to put in our output rail. Sometimes it's called rails, sometimes it's called belts. Kind of depends on what you're making. Think. There we go. And then we're going to take this back up and we're going to merge it with the primary path again. Well, luckily they don't really care about the order things come in, they only care if it's coming in, which is very nice. This game would be a lot more complicated if you had to deliver things on clean routes. Purple production is nice and high, but teal production is fairly low. So, much as we did before, let's increase paces. And there we are. Oh, I actually want to plug you in there. Perfect. And that will increase production of teal pretty heavily. How do I get you blocked? Like that. Yes. And then I mine under there. And we do that. Where you go in there, you go in there, and then you both end up on that path. And then we've got a double feed into the white, which isn't important at the moment, but will be later. And there we go. We're producing a lot more teal. And you can see that this section's already starting to get complicated, and we got way more colours to do yet. But it's fine, because we can just put in another one somewhere else later if we need to. Need to diversify our supply chain. And we've finally hit peak production over here, where it is the use of the purple that is being slow. We need more paint stations if we want it to go quicker. So let's scale. And this is the kind of issue a lot of companies have. So we've now moved from pulling to pushing. So we are being held back by the amount we can physically get through our systems. So we are now pushing the demand. So this is the point where you want to scale. We have the demand pulled our production. We have then started to meet the demand, so we're now pushing it, where the more we produce, the more we sell. So we produce more. You need to be careful that you don't get into overproduction, at which point you end up with stock that doesn't sell, and that's the point companies don't want to be in. And the issue a lot of car manufacturing has at the moment. Awesome. And we have the merger, so we can actually start to dramatically decrease the size of these now. So if I show you the difference here, no, it's the splitter. Sorry, my apologies. I remembered the wrong thing. The merger does help, but a different way. Yes, that goes under there. That goes in. Yep, cool. I remember how you make these now. I had a momentary forget. And you want it 3 away each time. Yeah, so that one's actually too close. 3 away, 3 away. Because that leaves room for those. There we go. And we need to do a split here, because essentially we could actually do a splitting it earlier. There we go, split earlier. This actually essentially I need to get a split into you, so I'm gonna do that, and we go like that. There we go, and we have a little more purple, and we can now use the new merger, which is to help with the output, because we can just put those there like that. So you can see that we can now make our top rails hug a bit closer. Time to go big. Yes. We just doubled up purple circle production. The next thing is increasing the production of our teal stars. Now, I accidentally just went through and deleted things by accident. I didn't mean to do that. Nobody was looking, right? Totally. Right, so what we can do now is if we take another stint off here, we can go under our existing one, like so. And we can then just duplicate things up and do a second production cell, so that we just have 2 production cells working on this one product. Dunk, 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 dunk. And I'm saving room and way so I can increase production later. But as you can see, fairly quickly, fairly easily, we just doubled up. And all we gotta do here is take an extra rail off here and connect through. I think I just closed everything with F12. I just wanted to use the backspace. I'm not going to test it because I don't want to close things again. Yes. F12 doesn't normally close things. It's normally Alt F4 that closes everything. P.S. Alt F4 closes everything. F12 would be an interesting one. Combiner, bink. And then we have a new production cell. And again, being held back by our teal production. We want to continue getting bigger, we need to make more teal. And we're failing to make teal because our supply of green is down. So, actually this is probably a good one. So we work over in this factory. We're here like, our production is slow, our output's slow, we're not producing the numbers we would expect. So we go back through and we go, hey, people in station number 1, what's the issue? Well, you see, we don't have enough teal paint, we can't paint them. Cool. Okay, that's strange. Station number 2, what's your issue? Oh, we don't have enough teal paint. Okay, so the issue is teal paint. So we come back to our supplier over here and we go, hey, goods in, what's the issue? And they're like, we're not getting in the teal paint we want. We put in big orders, but we're not receiving it. And it's like, okay. So then you follow the path back. And you come back here and you're like, hey, supplier, why aren't we getting the teal paint we should? And they're like, we're just not getting enough green in. Like, we have the machine capacity, we're just not mixing it up. Okay, so then you come back and you go, hey, green, why are you not producing it? And they're like, we have 3 change where we're not doing anything. And that is root cause analysis. Very important. Because what we did there was we just isolated what exactly the issue was from all of the things it could have been. And now we've connected up some more green paint. We've invested in our supplier, so their production is now higher. Which means that fairly quickly you'll see we're going from this production speed to this production speed, where you can see things are coming in batches of 4 rather than batches of 2. Googled it. It's an Opera panic close button. Yeah, cool. There you go. If you're on something you shouldn't be and the boss walks in and you're on Opera, just hit F12. Just quick. F12, everything gone. Learning things! Or, don't be honest to begin with. But, you neither here nor there, neither here nor there. We don't judge. We judge a little bit. Right, I'm going to route up here a bit better. Up around. Give me a tunnel, because I want to keep that blue. Better there, because Teal's proving a very popular choice in colour. So I want to put another production cell on. Dunk, dunk. Dunk. Dunk, dunk. Because it goes in the gap. Because that goes there. Right. And then actually what would be really useful is if the green tunnel was up here. Like that. So there. 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 Perfect. And now that we fixed the green supply issue, we actually have a blue supply issue. So we need to go mining more blue. Yeah. So we're gonna go 3, 4. Have a bunch. Merge them together. Do our normal pyramid stacker. There we go, one pyramid combiner, that fixes the blue, we fix the green. So, for a short now delay of teal, we have just dramatically increased the production scale, so we'll be getting a lot more teal in future. Wait for the system to prime itself. So priming is when you start a new process up, it's the time it takes until the first until everything is running at capacity again. So you can see that now that the system is primed, all of them are now running as they should. And we now have our full capacity output, and you can see how much more full that band now is. From the here's a couple here and again. Groups of 3 or 2, you now have this fairly solid band starting to work its way through. And it will take time to arrive, and you will see this a lot in industry where it will take it a few moments for things to catch up to the point where you see the change. We've enacted change, but it's taking a while before the change appears in our output. And this is very common in process design, particularly when you're trying to optimize processes. You need to be mindful that you're not going to see the improvements of a change immediately. They take a little while to come through. Faster belts. Nice. Cool. But now that we're starting to get more of the paint through, you can see that this production paint cell is now starting to work at a higher capacity. We're starting to shift more units. The belt is starting to become more teal and less grey. We're delivering quicker, and we should now see in this a marked jump up in our production. Cool. Producing 4.2 a second. So we've only got about 20 left to go, so that should be just a couple of seconds. There we go, next level. So next we have the stacker and stacking and combining. So we got to do a green head with a teal star bottom. And this is the point that I've become very glad that I've done things in 2 cells. Because I also remember from this, we also need the still produce the normal one. So what I can do is break this line, at which point I've separated my production. And I can apply the old schnippy schnaps. technical term, the snippy snaps. But look at them. We want it on the bottom, so both need rotating. So if I rotate you that way, you end up on the bottom. And if I rotate you that way, you end up on the bottom. So we can then just directly merge you together. And now we get an unbroken line of on the bottom. Cool. And we need to merge that with a green top half of the circle. We don't necessarily need one from our green input over here, so I'm not actually going to take it, because we can take a connection from here. Oh no, connection from here, you're even producing the shape we want. We've just got to ferry you somewhere else away from the hub and then make you green. So let's go like that, like that. We've got our output, we just need to go somewhere to make it green. Down there looks good to me. Whoop. Right, and then we do the same thing we've done a few times before. Luckily, there is a cell right next door we can use as our reference. Get a load of green. Click, 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 click. And connect it all through, and there we have it running very nicely. Do our classic pyramid merge here. Connect that through, and then we have just the tunnels to go. And that's our new part factory. Oh, missed. Top two, you want to go like that, and you want to go like that. Do our output vent. Perfect. And then we have our two parts over here. So we need to cross here and cross here. I'm gonna, for the sake of my own neatness, do that. We've got our two parts, we just need to stack them together then. Right. So we have a new type of production unit, so let's have a look at the way in which we would produce this. If I do that, then I can have you guys go like that. And then all I need is that to go like that. I'm too close to this belt here. Cool. So that's going to work. I just want to shift up a little bit. So do one as the prototype. Cool. That looks good. And we are just got the space we want. Fantastic. But we know that we can just stack this on, and we need just one square gap between each one. So we can actually fit quite a few in here. Delicious. rotate you round. Click, click, click. Dink. Dink, dink. Oh, and that's slightly out of line of the one below. That saddens me deeply. But we now have our next production type. So merge the outputs as per normal. And send it in. Oh, nearly put it on the wrong way. I nearly sent it off to go get painted. But I merged that in there. And we now have this mixed variety belt that is moving out quite nicely. So that will come through and we'll start to deliver. So as per a lot of things, we're now going to have an initial and nutritious. Yes. And very nutritious. So we're going to have an initial why can't I remember it? My brain has fallen out my ear. An initial surge in production, and then the production quantity will drop as we use up the kind of backlog and we start moving into only our production capability. Which will be probably about nowish. Yes. Right, so we want to up that production a load more if we want to get anywhere, because we need thousands of them. So I'm going to do another... Well, we need literally 1,000 of them. I'm going to do another production cell over here. And I'm going to very much push it to the point where it starts to fall apart. But yes, this product is proving to be popular, so we're going to increase production, is what you would hear your manager say. And you would go, oh no, please, no, that's more work. And they go, tough. Awesome. And then once I have this set up, I'll talk about waste. Because we're starting to accumulate quite a lot of waste in our network, and that makes me sad. Because wastes are bad. Actually, get on there. Not quite as tightly packed as previous cell, but you know, still good. Awesome. Click, click, click. Perfect. Right, let's talk about wastes, because we're starting to get a few. So, in lean manufacturing, there are 5 wastes. Let's see if I can remember them all. So the first one is, well, they're not in any particular order, so I say first, but I kind of mean the number one I'm getting to is defective production. So that is where you're producing things that are wrong or things that can't be used. So rather luckily for us in this game, none of the processors have defects, so you can't have defective production. But if I was producing, say, these little kind of missile things, let's call them missiles. If I was producing these missiles upside down, for example, that'd be a defect. That'd be defective production. Number 2 is one that we're doing quite a lot of, which is transport. Transport is moving components further than you have to for the processors. I'm looking at these paint runs that are streaking across the map where we're not using them anywhere near where we're producing them. Realistically, you'd want to produce them smaller nearby if you wanted to make your system more efficient and cost less. Number 3, with on much the same veins, is those are the big two. Those are the two that you often kind of produce and encounter very, very often, and cause you all kinds of issues going through. You then have overproduction. So overproduction is where you're producing more than the customer is asking for. That's number 3. Again, in this instance, it's not too much because the things will continue to want things even afterwards. That's first 3. Number 4, you have waiting. So a good example is here. We are waiting on the teal stars. We're not getting enough through to feed our production chain. So these ones wait for them to come through. And then 5 is inventory. You're holding too much stuff that you're not using. And those are your main 5 wastes for lean manufacturing, lean processing. And we're doing pretty good. We want way more teal stars if we could get there. We could probably add another cutting cell in this space, however. Let's do that. Dink dink. Merge together there. There we go. And we need one more merge there. And that is a load more bottoms being thrown out now. Which is... Oh, and then I forgot to put the tunnels in over here. Right, I see what I've done. I actually mismade this bit slightly. That's fine. It's easy to correct. Oh, nice. Yeah. That goes straight across there. Then we want a bunch of tunnels that do that. There we go. And finally our main bout. Click, 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 click. And we have output. And again, to see the how optimized we are, we want to look over this end. And it is chomping nicely. Perfect. Right. This is all good. Red star with a yellow circle. That's the next one I will tackle. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase my star extraction. Like so. This can come down here. We get a lovely joiner in there. Perfect. Right, that feels a bit better. I'm going to take another route off there anyway. And where's our local reds? Over here. But I am going to use this one. We do another one of our painting cells. Spacing of 3. Space by 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There we go. They can feed straight in. Connect up the painting side as per we done before. Perfect. And then we just got to bring our newly separated off. I'm actually going to separate it down here. And we have our red star production. Just gotta have our exhaust rail. Perfect. So we just need the yellow star to go on top. So we come down to our color production. And we do getting yellow up. Put a bypass in, bounce it across, come connect up, and we never stop building. That's the rules. Never stop expanding, never stop growing, never stop increasing your production, optimize, create, build continuously. And we need circles, and we can actually get circles from over here, because that'll actually save us a bunch of time with this rail. There we go, all connected into one. Ooh, and we got the chain extractors, which I will come to in a moment once I've set up another paint cell. So this one over here was by 4, so we'll do another by 4. 1, 2, 3. So part of what I'm doing here is balancing out our throughput. So because one is by 4, has 4 in it, we're doing the other one by 4 to make sure we're producing at equal speeds so that we don't have one side overproducing for the other, which we're gonna anyway, because yellow's gonna need capacity upgrades in a second. But what we're doing is centralized production philosophy for this run. So all up, or at least for paint, we're doing centralized production. This is the way that some of the Soviet countries used to do it. They had one facility that produced all of X. And you'd have one massive thing that produced all your metal, for example. And it has this bonus that you get certain efficiency increases for scale. In fact, you can still see it in a lot of the old Soviet bloc countries. There's our yellow circles. That they will do all of their hot water at the end of the block rather than having individual boilers, and then pipe the hot water to each house, which is fantastic. It's a lot more efficient way of doing it, but you have issues then if that pipe bursts, because you lose an entire block, not a single house. So you're trading redundancy for efficiency. Top railing. I need space by 3, not by 2. Damn. No, you can do it by like that, can you? Because we have you get like that, and then the next one is that. So yeah, it's by 3. 2, 3, bunk, bunk, bunk. Because then you get that, you get, yeah. Oh no, it's by 4, except for the first one. We got our 2 outputs. We now merged them. And then we barrow it again, like so, and the next stacker comes in there, the tunnel to pop out there, there and there. Yes, that's by 4. 1, 2, yeah, by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, click. 1, 2, 4, click. There we go. That took more brain power to design than I would like to admit. Lines go in there. You're our final output. Then we feed yellow circles in one side, red stars in the other, and then hopefully, assuming I have my orientation correct, we should end up with red on the bottom, yellow on top. Yes! Which is exactly what we want. There we go. How is our stackers doing? We are stacking more than we're producing. Perfect! And we are slow on yellow, but not slow on red paint. And we can make sure we're not slow on red paint anyway, because we now have chain extractors, so we can do this and dramatically increase the amount of extractor production. And yellow is slow because we've only got one yellow mixer at the moment. Which I guess is the problem we should probably fix now. Get rid of the blue for a sec. We'll come back to you in a moment, blue. First, we need to make sure. Chain extracting is nice. It is. It is. Oh, it feels so good. In a moment, I will actually go around on the map and replace any non-chain extractors we have with chain extractors. Right. Let's duplicate up a yellow production. Get rid of you for a sec. And then for all others, we need to put in quick tunnel. We need that bypass. Green then plugs in there. These splitters actually need to be out one like that. We could do with some more production capability. So chain extractors go brrr. Much better. Chain extractors go brrr. And there we go, that's a load more yellow production then. I could do with even more, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that. We've currently disconnected this white. Let's go dunk, dunk, dunk. And a little one down here to do that. Ooh, new upgrade is available. Cutting, rotating, and stacking upgrade. Nice. Nice. Everything is going well at the moment. So, let's take our white. And let's go make a start on our most complicated shape yet. And I'm actually going to bring it down here to do it. Because we're going to go for this one. This comet shape. This blue and white comet. So first things first. I need a double cut. Actually, I want to reverse you. So you two are now the same side. So, and you're both at the top. And then we can cut you both. And we want things in the top right, so we want to rotate you that way. We want to rotate you that way. And then this nicely gets us our top right corner. So we also then need to do a circle where we don't have the top left corner. So let's again do it slow. So we need to cut you down. This one can bypass. This one we will rotate once. We will slice, which gets us the... Yes, because we're going to rotate, because they need to be rotated back again. For the sake of ease, do that now. Which gets us those two sides, which means we can now bin this side. So we take this side perfectly straight past. Awesome. We can merge these two bits back together. Bink. We bring in this. And now that gives us 1 times the base. Perfect. Next step, we've just got to paint the bases blue. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send these the other way. Could you not rotate the other one so you don't need to bin it? So, I can. And if I was being very efficient, I would. The reason I'm not, however, is because the way the cutting works is it only will complete one when there's a route for both. So if I rotate it round and plug it back in again, I'm doubling up my usage of the bottom. So I would need to double up the usage of my side, and then I would have a spare side going past. So essentially, what comes out of the right also needs to come out of the left. So while at this stage at the top here, that's fine. When you get down here, if you're reusing a part, you're getting 2 uses per one left side when you need it to be 1 and 1. I'm being lazy. I might come back and increase production in a way so that I can do it, but for the moment I'm kind of being lazy because I'm prototyping. But good observation. You earned yourself 1 lean manufacturing point. Right. Move it over to the paint house. I can then actually do this. So yeah, in a company setting, you could have just saved the company a lot of money by making that suggestion. Or if the cutting process wasn't perfect, you might have just saved them a load of defects. And therefore a load of time where you're not having to rework things. Cool, we got the base. So if we then have a primary output rail here. So I'm prototyping my design, but I'm trying to do it in a way so it's easy for me to then scale it later. So this is, I'm doing a little bit of pre-thinking now in how I lay things out, in the hopes that then scaling up is very easy. And this is a big part of process design, is I'm trying to decide to do things in a way so I don't block myself later. I now take the white we produced earlier. See, all of the effort and time was worth it, because now we just have the white hanging around. This can then have the same think. Doesn't really matter. That's just really satisfying to do. We now create white circles. We now have our two subparts. Actually, I need to be careful here. What I probably want to do is that to that. So this can then continue along here uninterrupted if I so want it to. And then we do our stair climb of this. And we've got it the wrong way around. And that is where you prototype. Right. So I need to do this really funny little cross. Like that. There we go. And now, hopefully, think. Perfect. Think. Oh, my hub's over there. Fantastic. Let's connect you into about here. So we want to go to about there. We want to do something like that. The sides matter. The sides do matter. The game doesn't just interpret the way I want it. The game's not psychic and I don't like it. Oh, and then that's just too wide a gap to jump all in one go. Fine. Fine, I will connect in here then. That what you want, game. Click. And we start delivering. Right. Get rid of that, because it's dirty. How dare it not be psychic? Yeah, I know, I agree. How dare it? Awesome. And now we started delivering. let's upgrade production. So we've got all our parts, so we know what we're doing. The only difference now is we need to do it en masse. But because I had a bit of forethought in the way that I planned things out, we wrong way. It isn't terrible to increase our production size. Do little bits of pre-thought that I hadn't thought about. There we go. That's our second output down here. And what I'm probably going to do is probably go for 6 of each and then run it all together. I happen to know from experience, you need a lot of what you're producing here because it becomes very valuable. One, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Cool. And just do all of the connecting together. Paint roller. Click. Click. And then you want a paint cube on each. Create it in a way so I can produce even more if I need to in future. Yeah, I kind of want this to be its own unbroken supply of this part. Is the level of production I'm aiming for, is I want the output tube to be full. I want to push the production of this at every opportunity. There we go, lots more. Right. Alright. No, it's 3 as well. How am I doing this? Yes, you're by 3 as well. Cool. By 3's for everything. I might just need to move that blue output tube, but that is fine. There we go. And we can plug things in there. And we are doing good. And then we just need the whites to come through. Get the white paint through. One, two, three, four. 6. Perfect. And we are merging things together very nicely there. And we have everything going together. And we just need to connect back up the blues, like so, and put in the next merger. Right, and then time to put in some more stackers. I can do that, or I can do the approach of that there. 1, 2. Thinking noises. I know what I've done. You want the tunnel like that for each one. And then click, click. Stacker. Tunnel comes out. Those two meld together. Tunnel goes back in again. This is the 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this is the by. No, it's by 3 again. 1, 2, 3. Yep. Everything is by 3. Yes, no, it's by 4 after the first. The first is by 3, then it's by 4. That's right. And we want 6 of these, so 1, 2, 3. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. And pipe in the primary tubes. Oh, you're wrong. Cancel you before you make a defect. These are causing me a bit of a headache. Let's do them one at a time. What does the next one? There's the output. There's the merge. There's the dive. Support rails. Stack. Inputs. Output. Rail. Merge. And we'll keep that as the one output for the moment. We'll let our backlog go. Go backlog, go! Then we'll see how our production is doing. At the moment, it looks like white paint is going to be our sticking point. And the blue one... Why are you not producing? Ah! The circles are causing the issue. Right, so... Then you're... Wait, which way are you to begin with? You're that way. Which is fine. That is fine. If we put on another thing, bring you down, snip you. You're fine. You need rotating through 180. You're now fine. We can now merge these two lines together. We're going to have one defect run through. So, perfect example of the waste. We have a couple there, which are defective, which they're going to go through the whole process. And they're going to get painted, and they're going to look weird. And I'm going to just follow them for a moment. So they're now in our primary thing, so we just have one go through there. Pick it up, back up again a sec, so you can see normal, and there's the defect. And this is a perfect example of the lean waste of defects. So these essentially don't gain us anything. We produce them, we spent all the resources producing them, but we're not getting anything for having done so. But we are now recycling that little chip. So we're not wasting that. But we need to increase our circle production quite a bit more. The prototype before the finished product, exactly. Right, and we want the left side, so this side then gets snipped again. Using our rail production a little bit. Oh, that's right. We need to rotate them. Yes, I remember. I remember that now. Doesn't really matter which way as long as they're both the same way. Yeah, backlog out so we can actually see what's going on. Perfect. Right. There we go. We want to rotate this one anti-clockwise once. And then we have that. We can then merge those two together. Those two lines together. So, put this in because it's our through rail. This is then our output rail, which we can bridge over like this. We can then put our merger in. Not quite right. Deciding where to fix it. The reason I'm not deleting these will come clear in a second. Nope, now they're sticking on top. Oh, I'm rotating it the wrong way, obviously. That's what I want. Use up leftover stock. We need to move that one that way, that one that way. Clear our tunnel because it has old, redundant, failed prototypes in it. There we go. Perfect. And we can also drop that there. Hold on to that other stuff for a second. And merge this in. Cool. Because if we just rotate this anti-clockwise once, then we get what we want anyway. So then we can bring this round and we can merge it in. And you see you've got... We've saved a couple of products. Which is sometimes known as post-conditioning, where you've got something that is nearly there and you just got just a little thing to make it right. Often what they do to make prototypes usable. User-flibble. Tee. Awesome. Right. We have our primary strain, so we can just do some more of that. Ooh. You can now copy and paste things. Press Control and drag. Like so. And then we can copy. And it gives us a price of how much it costs to paste. So, bink. And that's why I know that I want to make a lot of production of these. Because I know, I previously knew that the copy-paste currency of this game Is this? Hey! I don't have the puzzles DLC. I might pick it up. It might be fun to pick up. I'll see how I do. I've played a bit in the past. Like I played a bit of Shapes in the past. I do process engineering, so sometimes this gets a little too close to work. Oh, I'm being a silly. I'm doing a silly. There we go. Sorry about that. Minor effects. I have the puzzles in there if you want to. I have some puzzles in there if you want to give it a go. Sure. No, I will definitely check that out. And hello, Sir Dan. And yes, silly is good. Silly is always good. Oh, I'm rotating you the wrong way. There we go. Get through the cache. There we go. All corrected. Perfect. And let's neaten things up by using the correct tools. Thank you for the follow. What I'll do is I will drop you a message when I finish with my ID, and then we'll do it that way. And then I'll pick it up next time. How does that sound? But yes, I shall be in contact. Laziness getting the better of me. Bink, bink, bink. Bink. Think, there we go. There's some more. We're now flowing even more. There's the backlog stored down here. Flush that through quickly. There we go. That's all good. And then it is a lack of blues that's causing the next bottleneck. I know. I see what you mean. I know what you mean. I know that it's not very big. I just want to give it its full justice and dedicate a long chunk to it. Flush this side through. Keep going. There we go, that's run all of the defects out of the system. More or less. Close enough to Kara. And we have things producing at full tilt then. Which means we need to produce more, we need to copy a few more of these. I'll drop you a message pretty much as soon as I stop today, and then yeah, I'll look at the schedule and see what we do. There's a collab. So me, Athel, and Conagus and Hebesaurus are doing Lightyear Frontier tomorrow, and I will have a look at when it'll fit into the schedule and drop it in. Possibly on Sunday. I need to think that, like that. That now the excess white will come through, but we are probably bottlenecking at the white stage over here. So what I will probably do is open a new production front. No, don't worry, Dan. I'm not leaving yet. I am not leaving yet. Cool. Yeah, I'll add you as soon as I finish. Right, let's merge some paints. Let's get painty. There we go, and then we want... Actually, I've got a paint merge to design somewhere else, so why aren't I just reusing things? There we go. Right. Reds go in, green goes in. So on this one, I am on purple square, white circle. On previous times I played it a lot further than that. Right. But yes, for the moment, I am here. Though I see the worth in producing a lot of the copy-paste stuff before you kind of push on from there, because it is very, very useful and very powerful. Oh, I don't know. We'll see. As I say, I have a little bit of the bonus that process design is part of my day job, which definitely helps matters. There we go. Do another one of the merging pyramids. Whap. And we have some more white production. Haven't quite worked out how I was planning to get it out of here yet. But that was definitely a me problem for later. Actually, I can just simply take it that way. Right. And that check there. Click. Click. And we have ourselves a dedicated white line. Right. Take it round. And bring it down. And I produce a little bypass for it later, so I'm going to use it now because I can. There we go. And here comes our new production path. I've only done the puzzle thing. No harm in that. Puzzle is puzzle. And that gives me a nice new steady flow at full power. Feed in. Which gets us a lot more of the white circles, which will then stack up with the blue production, and we should see the top one's speed start to increase soon. Now that we're producing a lot more white paint. Ah, I'm missing a tunnel. There we go. And we're now down to normal speed production. And we can know from this that our white belt can handle more. So we can come up to our dedicated white area. And we can increase production. Everyone's favorite pastime. More production. I think that's another 2. Set up. Perfect. Yes, we just need to put in 1, 2. Through we go. And that's the reds then. And we just need to up our initial production of the reds a little bit. There we go. And the reds are on. Ah. Nice. A bunch of the Zachtronics games are on sale. Awesome. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Yeah. I'm going to go have a nose what other ones there are after this room, honestly. And I can actually put in one more paint merger, which can be then my master out. Right. What is holding up my production here? 2 missing bits of conveyor, or 1 missing bit of conveyor belt. That's that, and then green production. Fine, because that also hadn't been sized increased. There we go. Now we're starting to stack up on white, which is actually what we want to see. As it comes down here and goes to here. And we are getting locked on our circle production. Ah, I love the optimization stage. There we go. This can actually handle even more than that. So we will put on even more circles. There we go. Now it's starting to stack up for the first time. But now we are producing. So we just managed to double our production rate. Slightly more than double that, actually. Which will do nicely. So next is purple circles. So we got our purple painting over here. Well, so white circles with purple squares, is what I meant to say. And that's all handled for the moment. So what I'm going to do for the moment is disconnect circles, and I'm going to throw on squares production, like so. Pipe that under. Think. There we go. Now we're making purple squares rather than purple circles. And I will take from here. And I will take an off vent because we're producing quite a lot of white circles, which is exactly what we need. And duck and dive those. And we can do another one of our joining facilities. So where do we have a stacker? That's a horizontal stacker. Do we have a vertical stacker hanging around? That is opposite way up to what we want. Also should look at the yellow production at some point. Adding to a list of things to do. Right, let's create one that we can use later. So, as per normal, we I have them the wrong way around. That is fine, that is easy to fix. Cycle you through, perfect. And then you go under like that, join you through, and that connects that, and then that will produce. After cycling it a few times. There we are. Bink, perfect. So we know that'll come through to what we want soon enough, but we do need to space it out a little bit more. Go. I think I'll do it one more time. Oops. Oh, one more time was perfect. Nearly broke something else getting that one in. And then that is an output tube, so we can just go think. And that is our purple squares with white circles done. Right, I wanted to look at yellow and red. So yellow production. So yellow is red and green. So let's do ourselves a little oh, I could be cheeky. Tempting. No, I'm going to be good. I'm going to take it. We got plenty of things at the moment, so I will click. Chain extractors in. Connect up with a pyramid. Need to remember that shift does the niceties. So yes, I've probably gone from having my biggest waste be transport to probably my biggest waste is very quickly becoming overproduction. But luckily in this game there's no real like running cost penalty, so it doesn't matter too severely. But in the real world, I would be producing far more than I actually need. And let the new yellows come. Oh, I need a top red rail is what I'm missing, and then we can let this really run. There we go. And that is a very big, very nice yellow production. Churning away at full pelt. Now create a lot more yellow circles, which will then get mixed with the red stars and produce a lot more yellow and reds. I'm just waiting for, and here it comes the extra production capability. So what that entire upgrade was there for. Awesome. And now the thing we're hitting is actually the processing time. You can see it backing up. It loads up the inventory of each individual part, and then it's sticking there. We hit our production ceiling. So we are now overproducing dye compared to the amount we can actually utilize. Luckily, there's one very easy fix for that. There we go. A few more circle painters. What we are now going to hit up against is the speed at which things can transport to each part. You can see we got pretty much unbroken yellow going into the unbroken red, so the red is now transferring a lot quicker. We can actually hit issues with the production speed of that because we're now misbalanced on the two production sides. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 7 to 1, 2, 3, 4. So you'll see that the backstock of the red is now going down at quite a pace because we're actually building and merging things quicker than it's producing, while the yellow is going to build up ever so slightly. But we're producing quite a lot more the red stars. If we come down to it, you can see that massive sheer wall jump up. Purple production's going pretty good. We have had a little bit of a drop off now that the initial production is complete, which is what we were expecting. We are still just relying on the purple here. If we find a green and red, yep, let's up our purple capacity as well. So, because we're using all stock stuff, grab you, copy you, bring you down, rotate and paste. Realize that you put it in the wrong way up. That's better. So I was just pre-arming the system a little bit there while I was building the rest of it through, and now prepare to load up the other colour. Helps if I have my fingers on the right keys. And we should have ourselves a load more purple coming through, which we can now just port over, merge straight in. Perfect. Realize that I'm merging the wrong colors together. We don't want green, we want blue. But I'm going to leave the green stuff there. So that doesn't mean we don't want yellow in future. We just don't want it now. We paid for the production facility, we might as well keep the remnants of it, so that if we do need it in future, it's not hard to do. However, I will separate the yellow off into a little holding chunk. So this is me building up an inventory. I accidentally was producing the colour. I might as well hold it all up, because there's other things I can do with it in future. But there we go. We are now back. We have now purged the system of the colour we don't want. So we can get rid of that bit, put in this, and be good to go. And just connect up the blues. And there we go, we have our purple. Right, and I will hold on to that yellow for later. But this is all going quite well. We have major production going on. Right. Let's head out into the outer wilderness. And we will give this shape a go. before moving on for the night. There's one part, there's another part of it. Can we find anywhere that has a few more bits a bit closer together, I wonder? Eye scanning, eye scanning. Not really. It seems to only be available in small clusters. It's a rare resource. Right, in which case, let's change our approach. We'll go for you. And we are going to massively mine you. Because what we're going to do, we're going to drop you down. We're going to rotate and then cut this piece. And we're going to bin that, and we're going to bin that, so that we only have this. And then we're going to separate it onto 4 paths, like that. Do this, at which point we should have all the individual parts. Yep. Stick it all back together again. And that produces us 1. So then we're going to do that a couple of times. And now we're producing that shape. Not as neatly as I would like. Like there's a lot of waste, a lot of production waste there, which with a bit of work we can utilize in future. But it produces the part. What color do we need it to be? Oh, it's just simple red. Oh, sweet. And there is red right here, so we just need a painting tower. Like you. How much does that much of a painting tower cost? Cool, so that's in budget. Or was I just working? There I am. Right. Shape in the top. Perfect. And collect up our paint. With our lovely chain extractors. And connect it through. And there we go. We have it being produced in red. Just go connect that through now. Out to our hub. Where is the hub? Up over there. So up around. I should do myself some uniformed highways at some point with this, which is the sole purpose of getting things to the hub, so it's a bit easier to find. I do. And here they come. Marching through. What's holding it back? Is it the shape production? It is definitely the shape production. At the moment, it's the paintability, but then it'll be the shape production. But for the moment, add a few more in. There we go. Bit more paint production. Fantastic. That gets us another shape. At 3.6 a second, that ain't too bad. So what's our fastest production? Just the plain fastest colored production, something that involves processing. So these process slowly. So fastest complex production is probably the purple circles or the red whatever these I'm just producing are. Yeah. Purple squares with white circles, 2.8 a second. That is all thanks to this lot over here. And here's our core. And if you think back to where we first started, we have come a long, long way.
Subscribe.